Amazing. Well, it's great to have you joining on the media side of things. We are just coming into, that is the 5 minute. I think that's the 5 minute. So, yeah, 5 minute flag has gone up. It will be 1 minute until we see the next flag go up. The preparatory signal, probably a blue Peter. So that means if you cross the line early, you could still go back. Is that normal for a medal race?
Yeah, I think that's always the case in medal race, and it's never what we race with in normal races, so it adds a little extra dimension. And I actually see a lot of crews changing their settings at the moment because the wind just dropped a couple of knots extra, so they're probably getting some power back into the rig for this change of wind.
We've been so psyched up for so much wind for so long. I feel like, wow, where's all the adrenaline suddenly gone? I mean, the adrenaline's still there, but you suddenly have to get yourself into a different mindset because this is going to be more tactical now. It's not a battle of survival anymore, is it?
No, I think all girls will be focused fully in racing and getting the boat as quick as possible. And yeah, if all's well, they'll not be busy with surviving anymore, but just with rolling in other boats. And I mean, it's still challenging conditions for the skiff. There's waves from all sides, and we got about 14, maybe sometimes 15 knots. So we'll still see high speed and close action, but a bit more in control.
Let's just go through the runners and riders. So leading so far in this regatta in the gold medal position right now, it's GBR 9. It's Freya Black and Saskia Tidy. They've been sailing really well in the survival conditions earlier this week. In the silver medal place, it's the Italian boat, Italy 20. That's Giorgia Bertuzzi and Jana Germani. They won 2 races in the strong winds the other day. And in bronze medal position, it's Steph Robel and Maggie Shea, the very experienced USA team, and the reigning Olympic champions, with double Olympic champions, just outside of the medals right now, Martina Grael and Kaena Kunze. So, Adil, do you think the Brazilians can get back into play here? Can they get a medal out of today? Can they even get the gold medal?
Yes, so technically it's still possible for them, and also real life, I think it's also possible. I think out of all of these girls, they've got the most medal race experience in FIX, so yeah, they're definitely a force to be reckoned with. We just had the P flag come down, so we're already in the last minutes. Boats are lining up. It looks like a pretty even start line, so let's see who gets off the start line first.
Okay. So we got about 30 seconds, 20 seconds to go, and the fleet are getting close to the line now. USA 8 on port tack, just tacking onto starboard in the middle of the course. They're the most poked out boat that you can see on the race course, and the other American boat close to our committee boat where we're doing the commentary, just about to cross now. 2, 1. Looks all clear. We've just heard it's all clear. You're correct, Adil. And a really good start by Germany, 369 out the middle of the line. Germany 230 starting on port tack, and USA 92 forced onto an early port tack. As for the leading contenders for the medals, well, GBR 9 has had a very solid start on starboard tack and looks to be in a good controlling position, the most right hand of the boats on starboard. But the boats you're looking at now, well, that is the starboard tackers, and just to the left of your picture, that's the Brits, and just bow forward on them is Germany 369, I think it is, who had a really good start, and a nice start for Steph Robel and Maggie Shea. With bottom of your screen, it's the Brazilians, Martina Grael and Kaena Kunze, but they need to stretch their legs because at the moment, USA 8 has control over Brazil. So, Adil, who would you like to be in these early stages?
So, I mean, I really like these boats going out to the left-hand course, and then what I really like, what GBR 9 did, is that they didn't have the greatest start, but they worked straight away on getting a high line, and you could see they could survive like that. And you kind of want to be able to tack in front of the fleet there, so it's a bit vulnerable to be the most left-hand boat. If you look at Brazil now and USA, they're having a super tight battle, and you know that's not really what you want, especially if you're already quite close to the ley line. So GBR 9 looks like they've got a clear. They're going clear ahead of, across of these boats coming on starboard. It'll be tight for the other boats. Here we see Germany taking a duck. Let's see what USA and Brazil do. Yeah, so that's just these few meters, you know. You think it's not a lot in this breeze, but now you see how important these few meters are. Yeah. Once you get ahead, you're ahead.
That was very painful moments for Martin Grell and Kaya Nakunza, the Olympic champions, having to give way to these two starboard tack boats. And we've got the British coming out to the left-hand side there in the middle of your picture right now, just going out of picture. And we're flying across to the pack of boats in the middle of the course on port tack. And what do you think about the Brits breaking away from the rest of the fleet, going further left, Adil?
I mean, they're probably looking for some clear air, but we've also seen flatter water on left and the occasional lift. So I don't think it's a lucky shot. I think it's very important in these conditions to have a free lane and let your boat rip. So they've also already tacked back over into the race course, and it all depends on if they've got the shift right. You know, you don't want to be sailing in headers across this course, and you don't want to be sailing in bad air.
Just look how the Brazilians have come back. You'd still rather be USA 8, but Brazil, considering they had to duck two boats, isn't it incredible how they've managed to come back pretty much to where they started compared with USA 8? As I say that, the commentators curse. It looks like Roble and Shea are just about to sail over the top of the Brazilians and give them a dose of bad air. What do you think, Adil?
Yeah, so this is funny to see because you definitely see different moding. You see how GBR9 has quite high mode, and I think the same goes for Brazil. So if that would have been right off the start, probably USA 8 would have been in trouble. But now, heading towards the other ley line, it'll probably be the boat who has the high mode who comes in trouble. So yeah, it's all about sailing your own boat well, but you always have to change your course if another boat comes, because you want to keep a clear lane. And it's fun how much possibilities there are in these boats. You've got all these controls, but you've got your body weight and your technique as well. So lots of variables to play with.
Who do you rate in these conditions? Who would you have put as the favourite to do well in these conditions?
I don't know. I think it's super cool to talk about Steph and Maggie for a while, because I remember 4 years back when we were racing in windy Weymouth, and they were in Silverfleet, and they were talking with them. I was light as well myself, and we were saying, oh, it's such a hard time to make this boat go fast and breeze. And over the years, they've become such good sailors in all conditions. And yeah, I love to see that. You know, I love to see the growth. But to be honest, all of these sailors are good. And also the young German girls, 369, yeah, they've been charging ahead, and especially in breeze. They've got a really quick mode, especially a fast slow mode. So you don't want them on top of the start.
Now, I should have asked you earlier, because this is going to be difficult to do now, but who do you think is leading? Who is that boat top left of screen?
Yeah, so it looks like GBR9 is in first, and then it looks pretty close between USA 8 and Germany 369. It looks also a bit lighter up top, but they'll get a bit of breeze again in the next 20 seconds. Looks like they've got a long port to go. And then a bit of starboards. So let's see. And also up here in Papagayo can get very shifty. So you really have to race till the very end of the mark. You cannot start thinking tactical already, because then you might be missing out on the last shift or the last gust. And especially in these boats, they're very important.
Right. So you said there's more breeze coming. How did you manage to spot more breeze from that picture?
Just darker patches on the water, really. It looks pretty much similar to what I keep my eyes out when I'm sailing. Light patches of water and smooth water is not what we're looking for. We're looking for dark and windy.
Okay, well, there's still dark and windy going on up there, as Adil says. So the 49er FX fleet charging along at good speeds, doing in excess of 9 or 10 knots upwind. And it is GBR 230 possibly that is leading. It might be the other GBR boat that we haven't spoken so much about.
Yeah, they're a little bit above ley line here. Normally you wouldn't want to give away this space, but here we go. That's GBR9, I think, taking the mark in first, and the pack is still very close together. They've got a bit of legs on the rest. Here we see.
I'm not sure, Adil. I'm not sure.
You say third.
So let's.
Okay, so we got GBR9 in first, then we got Germany 369 in second, USA, who've been watching all race, in third, the second German boat in fourth, and then we've got Brazil right on top of them. You see them aiming for a roll, going fast in this downwind. After that, we've got Italy, and yeah, it's cool. It's all a game about keeping your wind clear in these races.
Adil, I'm getting you to do all the hard jobs. Now I'm going to get you to update the app to make sure that we've got everyone in the right order. And it's GBR9 with a really nice lead right now. And they're absolutely charging along with the blue Jenica with a good gap. And the nice thing for them is that further back, the black Jenica, I think that's the Italians maybe, are coming down over the top of the ones closest to them. No, sorry, that's Germany. The black Jenica, isn't it? Is that Germany 369? Yes, you're correct. And USA 8 in third, is it? So it's very close between Germany and USA for second and third right now. Black and Tidy just flying along underneath our drone, wearing the yellow bibs. Black, Freya Black, well, she was desperate to make ground in the 49er FX, not having sailed the boat much more than a year ago, and she was cheeky enough to go up to the double Olympian Saskia Tidy, knowing that Saskia was looking for a new helmsman after Charlotte Dobson retired after the Tokyo Games. And Saskia Tidy was so impressed by the Freya Black's business pitch to sail with her, that she said, well, okay, let's give it a go. And well, the reason why they've got 9 on their sail is because they were 9th at last year's World Championship, and they've sailed so well this week, considering Freya Black had hardly stood on the trapeze a year ago. To be able to stay on the trapeze in these huge waves that we've had here in Lanzarote, she's one to watch out for, isn't she, Freya Black?
Yeah, for sure. It's super impressive to see how quickly she's learning to sail the boat, and I can imagine it's super nice to sail with Saskia, who's got loads of experience, and often probably Saskia can also learn from Freya. It's a very interesting team combination, and they're doing well. They're just going to round the first mark, a bit of a safe rounding. They're going to they favor the left-hand side of the course again. Then we got USA in second taking that mark. Then probably we'll have Germany 369 in third. We also see some boats overlay. It's super hard to calculate the ley lines in these conditions because one gust of wind and you're hundreds of meters off. Tough rounding. Brazil's actually in third because 369 have a tough rounding.
Right, so a bad rounding by 369, as you say. So they've given away ground, and going out to the right-hand side, it's Brazil leading the charge out to the right, and also going out that way, I'm just trying to see it's Italy who are next behind Brazil, but quite difficult to say who's who right now. There's quite a bad rounding going on for USA 92 towards the back of the fleet, and it's a bit scrappy by Paris Henken and Anna Tobias, the former Olympic champion from her laser radial days. Adil, we've got a pretty even split going on this side. Who do you want to be right now?
I think it doesn't even matter too much. You just really want to keep a clear lane, and if you can time it good with the shifts, I mean, even better. But probably there wouldn't be the biggest shifts here in the bottom of the course. So yeah, just make sure you got a fast boat and a free lane ahead of you.
Really safe sailing by GBR9, still leading this race. They've tacked back onto port and are going across back towards the middle of the course. The Americans, USA 8 in second place, Steph Roble and Maggie Shea. That second place in this race, as things stand, Adil, they're in contention for a medal. How are they looking?
Yeah, so they're looking pretty good. They've got exactly the same points to Italy 20, if Italy 20 is still in fifth. So definitely close racing. I think actually Italy 20 might be overtaking the other Italian boat at the moment. So if that would happen, then we would see another change in leaderboard and the Italians would grab silver. One thing's for sure, GBR 9 is looking safe for gold.
Yep, GBR 9, as long as they keep the stick in the sky, as Saskia Tidy refers to it, as long as they keep the mast upright, that's probably going to be enough to give gold to Great Britain. But there's a real close battle going on, as Adil just described, between Italy 20 and USA 8 for the silver and bronze medals. And in the mix, not too far out of it, are the Olympic champions Brazil in third place in this race. But what chance do you give them of being able to get to the podium by the end of this race, Adil?
Yeah, so they're 5 points off of the Americans now, but if I look at the screen and I actually see that Brazil might already be in front of USA, so yeah, that makes it even tighter. Then they're only 1 point away from each other. Still a lot can happen, so let's keep our eyes out, and yeah, you should never underestimate the Brazilians.
That is exactly right. So many times there have been situations where you think, oh, well, Brazil are never going to get back into this. And I thought this about the last Olympic Games. They had a pretty bad start to the Olympic Games in Tokyo. And then by the end, they came back and they won the gold medal. And that would have been a surprise for them to do that when you look at where they were in the early stages of the week. But they seem to be able to pull it out when it matters.
Yeah, I mean, I think they're very resilient, and also they've got a lot of experience as a team. So I think they trust each other, and they know, they know what they can do, and they don't give up. So yeah, as a competitor, it's always tricky to race against them, and you should never rule them out, even if they're in the back. They're great racers, and they seem to be able to spot some gusts and shifts that other people can't see. So yeah, that's super cool for sure.
Well, you've won the last two 49er FX World Championships, so you've definitely put yourself as one of the favourites for the gold medal at Paris 2024 next year. Who else do you see right now as, I mean, you must always have the Brazilians as one of your biggest threats for the medal next year, but who else do you see, particularly from this fleet that we see here?
Well, I think one boat that we're also missing in this lineup is the Swedish. Third in or second European at the Europeans and second at the Worlds, and currently also our training partners. So that's very excited. They're tall and heavy, so once the breeze kicks in, they're super fast. And yeah, that's super pleasure to train with them, but also sometimes difficult because it's hard to beat them. So Sweden is definitely also really good. I mean, you can never rule out Tamara. She's one of the most experienced sailors in the fleet, and I have so much respect for her, how she does it, but also the human that she is. And yeah, but I have to say it's a really deep top fleet at the moment because there's a lot of new young teams coming in. You've got these, I'm going to quote, old teams, the experienced teams. And you've got these fresh mixes like Annette and I, or Freya and Saskia, like the Swedish. And it just makes for super fun racing. And everybody has different skill sets. And yeah, super close.
And do you put yourself as an old team or a young team right now?
I would put ourselves as a fresh combination, and I mean, we've got different strengths naturally, and that's really happy to sail in breeze. I'm very happy to sail in light and tactical breeze, so it's super fun to come together and learn from each other on your strengths and weaknesses, and yeah, hopefully you get the best combination out of that.
How old are you now?
I just turned 25, so I feel like I should be an adult. But the day I turned 25, I lost my car and I had to walk to training and I was late. So to be honest, not a lot have changed. And yeah, just try to smile and enjoy it, and you don't feel as old, I guess.
I always see you smiling. I can never really tell what's going through your mind. You've got a good poker face.
No, it's honest. I'll also show it when I'm not happy. But I mean, if you do this for a while and you don't enjoy it, then I mean, it gets very tough. So I actively choose to see the positive side of things, and so far it's been working out. But I mean, I'm also realistic. Not every day is about rainbows, but every day you can learn from. So yeah. Yeah,
hard to remember that at the time. You get your biggest lessons from your failures, but being able to keep going in the face of adversity, that's what marks out Olympic sailors and Olympic champions in particular. The visibility has just got worse and worse, hasn't it? This Kalima is getting terrible, and in fact the dust is so bad that one of the drones that we're using fell out of the sky yesterday. It actually clogged up the mechanics of the drone. So you've been wearing a mask out here as well, Adil, and we even saw a NACRA 17 sailor out training wearing a mask while sailing their boat. It's quite bad, isn't it? This.
Yeah, for sure. And when you look on your weather app, you actually see a notification saying very unhealthy circumstances to go outside. So, I mean, not only waves and breeze challenging these sailors, but probably also some of them maybe with asthma, or I'm thinking about these poor crews who are having to do the hard work of dropping the Jenniker. They'll probably be feeling it in their lungs. So props to them, and hopefully they can take a couple of deep breaths in between and yeah, well, try to spot the fresh air on the race course.
Yes, good luck with that. We're struggling to even spot any boats right now. It's the visibility is just awful.
It seems like they've the first boats have set their Jenniker and they're coming downwind. Looks like a long straight downwind, so that means that the wind will shift a lot to the left because they're sailing very low on starboard. At the moment, it looks like one jibe across to the finish, so that doesn't leave a lot of room to overtake other boats. But I mean, it's not over till it's over, so let's see.
So we think that the gold is pretty secure for Great Britain 9, Freya Black and Saskia Tidy, and what an amazing result that would be for them, particularly for Freya Black being so new to this fleet. But let's just see how things are panning out. We think there might have been a leader change as these boats start ghosting out of the mist, out of this Kalima dust. We'll try and bring you an update as to who's actually doing well. Maybe there's been some significant place changing. We'll find out in a moment.
Yeah, so it looks like the boats who went out to the right have catched a little bit of a break, and we just lost our mark position again, so we'll have to rely on our eyes. Let's see what we see. I see a blue Jennifer out in front. Oh, hard to spot. Okay.
If this was an Olympics, you'd have the national flag on your sail and we'd know exactly what was going on, but everyone's using blue and black Jennikers, so let's see what we can find out.
So it looks like Stephanie Roblin in fourth, Martine Gorel in second, Freya Black in third, Italy 20 in fourth, Italy 46 in fifth, USA did a big catch up and is in sixth, then the two German boats, and then we got GBR, and unfortunately we're missing the 10th boat. That would have been the French boat of Mathilde and Aude, but they sustained an injury with these tricky conditions we've had. So let's look here. Final jibe into the finish for USA, it seems. They are coming in hot, and it looks like they are going to grab the first place, but let's keep our eyes out.
Well, after being behind the Brazilians, it looks like USA 8 have really pulled it out of the bag on this final leg, and they are charging downwind on starboard jibe, and it looks like they're going to come in ahead of the Great Britain team. Who is it in second? Is it?
See in a second, because they still have to do their final jibe to the finish. This is USA 8 ripping through the finish. Go girls!
Congratulations. Congratulations to Steph Robel and Maggie Shea, and it's Brazil. It's Brazil, Martine Grail and Kayena Kunze who managed to get up into second place in this race. Will it be enough for a medal? We'll find out in a moment. Let's just let a couple of other boats cross the line, but a good sailing by Brazil, and coming across in third
is Italy 20 with Jana Germani, super solid last jibe. And then we've got the number one position, GBR rocking across the line in fourth, still holding on to their gold medal. Congratulations, girls. Yeehaw!
Amazing sailing by Freya Black and Saskia Tidy. They were leading that race, but it doesn't matter that they finished fourth because they still get the gold medal. And now coming across the line, it's another Italian boat, Italy 46. And they are not going to get a medal today, but well sailed by them. And then a good recovery by USA 92. It's Paris Henken and Anna Tobias just getting across the line ahead of Germany 505. And then, yeah, next two boats, it's going to be a German and a British boat. It looks like the British have just got ahead in front. That's Megan Brickwood and Steph Orton. And then Germany 369 is Inga Marie Hoffmann and Katrin Bartelheimer. And do we have any other boats left, or is that it?
That is it. And what an exciting finish. You see that these boats go apart a little bit in the upwind, and then in these downwinds they come all together, and it's really up to the last meters to see who grabs the medal. And well done to all of these girls for sailing a super good race.
So we'll just update you again, finishing in fourth in the end, dropping back in that race, but it didn't matter for Freya Black and Saskia Tidy because GBR9 from Great Britain, they win the gold medal. Now, that Steph Robel and Maggie Shea, they came back to win that race, and that was enough to get them a medal. But was it quite enough to get them the silver? We don't think so. I think it was Italy 20 that came across the line in third place. So it's Italy that get the silver, and it's Steph Roble and Maggie Shea from the USA who get third. So it was super close. What was the points gap in the end between USA and Italy?
That's only 2 points, so super close for these girls. Yeah, and a big catch up from Italy actually, because they weren't in the front at first. So yeah, we got 3 very deserving medal winners, but also 9 really good boats sailing a nice race to look at. So congrats to all, I would say.
Congrats to all of them. Thank you, Adil, watching your team, all your rivals out there racing. We want to keep you for the final one, which is going to be the 49er medal race. That's going to be the men racing, and of course we're going to be watching your boyfriend, the reigning world champion. No, we're not. Oh no, I shouldn't have said that. We should have got him out here. Anyway, but Lambriex and Floris van der Werken haven't made the medal race. This is disaster. But no, I should have known that already. Anyway, we will be back to you with some proper information in a moment about the 49er medal race. Back to you soon.